My name is Brandon Perdue. This is my interview for Heavy Sport channel.
Russian bench presser Vadim Kakhuta was dominating in 220 pounds weight class for over 3 years. Every meet he managed to break all-time world record. 266 kilos, 267.5, 268.5, 269.5, 270, 271, 272 kilos. Vadim tried to bench 273 kilos at the end of 2016, but unfortunately he failed it. However, the gap from Vadim and the closest rivals was so big that everybody was sure that only Vadim Kakhuta can break the record of Vadim Kakhuta. But one day... American athlete Brandon Perdue settled a new all-time world record. He benched 272.5 kilos in the tournament Boss of Bosses 4. But why hadn't we known anything about him before the record? There is only one reference about his meets on the website allpowerlifting.com.
I'm from Columbus, Ohio. Powerlifting sports in general are huge in Ohio. Columbus, Ohio is home to Westside Barbell. Although I've never been there, I built a great foundation, always had a good bench press. I didn't start competing till late, and I really didn't start competing consistently, I'd say, till around 2015. But I was doing, tested meets at USAPL meets, 205-pound weight class. I'd done previous meets, had a USPA American record for 551 pounds at 220 pounds. I had been competing, it just wasn't picking up a lot of attention. And I still, even with the world record, has brought on some attention, but it's not as much as some of the other guys that you see, but I'm okay with that.
Some general information about the athlete. Brandon Perdue was born in 1984 in the small town of Brunswick, Maine. Brandon was a sports kid. He played football, baseball, however, wrestling was his primary sport. At the age of 15, Brandon began to work out in the gym. As has been said, now Brandon lives in Columbus, works in the office, and, as we already guessed, he is fond of bench press.
One day in the gym I met someone named Adam Warner, kind of my coach. When I met him, and he kind of changed my life and convinced me to do a 220-pound weight class, and with the weight gain caused a lot of gains in my bench press.
Brandon is 173 centimeters, the best squat is 256 kilos, deadlift is 292.5 kilos raw, but he doesn't compete in those lifts. By the way, as you can see, Brandon presses in a strict line, not in an arc. The thing is, he has been benching that way for over 10 years, and he is comfortable in that position. Brandon feels that benching with such a strict form has allowed him to develop strength and muscular disposition. And now some information about how Brandon trains.
Вот скажи мне, американец, в чем сила?
I don't follow a specific method. I've learned and studied. It's very easy to do that here in Ohio because it's easy to hear from guys for knowledge to be passed from person to person. I take advice. I kind of, I use that advice. If it works for me, I keep it. If it does not, then I get rid of it. I use some of the, conjugate method mixed with periodization. To be honest, I don't even write out a program. I know what I'm going to do in my head, but I can change that if I need to. I listen to my body. For instance, if I have a plan that day on how I'm going to train, and my body's telling me to stop, I will, so I can stay injury free. So I use a lot of chain resistance, resistant bands, low reps, typically no more than 5. I constantly want to shock the body. Usually when I start training for a competition, I'll start with the higher reps, 5, and I'll go through the complete cycle, resistance bands, chains. I reverse the bands, then I pause my reps when I'm just using barbell. I only bench once a week. I do not have a speed day. Instead, what I do is heavy dumbbells. I just do 2 sets the same way I do. I mean, at least not at my weight. I think that's a big part of my success. Do those once a week just for a couple sets. And I also mix in a lot of overhead shoulder press, which I feel is important. But as far as barbell bench press, just once a week.
Brandon is indeed very strong in dumbbells bench press. Even the biggest dumbbells in the gym are a little light for him. Therefore, athlete had to buy the plates 2.5 pounds to turn the 200-pound dumbbells in dumbbells at 205 pounds. By the way, Ronnie Coleman in his old video did 200 pounds for 12. And ex-record holder and super heavyweight Eric Spoto did 210 pounds for 17 reps. But this great sportsman had body weight about 150 kilos. Okay, let's find out about maximum barbell Brandon pressed on a few reps.
I have done 510 pounds for 5 good reps, clean reps. For 3, I've done 540 with paused reps, competition type reps. Well, I've done 560 for 2. And that was, a few weeks before I actually broke the world record at Boss of Bosses 4 in California.
On the question on hobby, Brandon asked that he likes to listen to music and take pictures of his hot wife.
Her Instagram page for some reason has became cause for speculation. She's not a porn star, she's not a model. Most pictures she takes herself or I take. I think Instagram has a lot of explicit material that a lot of women post. I think hers is just getting a lot of attention because I got a lot of attention when I broke the world record, and I've even found people speculating as to if we're swingers or anything like that. We don't do any of that. Her Instagram page started out as a normal page and just kind of progressed more and more explicit. I don't have a problem with it. Like she says, pictures are posted for me, not a porn star or anything. But yeah, I guess it's kind of flattering that people may think that she is. I don't know.
Well, okay, it's clear. Back to the bench press. What about the limit? How much is it possible to bench in 100 kilos weight class? I remember Vadim Kahuta responded to this question.
В сотке реально 285 пожать.
630 pounds at 220 pounds. Just a matter of time. The sport's evolving, people are evolving. Do I think it's possible for me to do it? If I stay healthy, yes. I think it's going to be a long-term thing. Staying healthy, sticking to what I'm doing, constantly shocking my body, and yes, trying new things. But it's definitely possible, and it's going to happen eventually. I just hope that maybe I do it. But the biggest part is just staying healthy.
By the way, about staying healthy, Brandon is right. Just 4 months before the Boss of Bosses 4, Brandon was benching with chains. As far as dropping the weight, Brandon was very sore. But he didn't know the extent of the injuries because he didn't seek medical attention. Brandon was able to start working out 18 days later, but felt a sharp pain with every rep in his ribs. He wanted to push through the pain to train for Boss of Bosses 4. But as Brandon says, the pain I suffered was worth an all-time world record. And perhaps the most important question. Brandon, how about to compete with Vadim Kahuta at the WRPF World Cup in Moscow?
I think it's great. It's something that I would definitely love to do. It's a lot to consider. I would be flying across the world to bench press. I've already spoke to it about with my family if I was invited. So it's something that I'm already thinking about if I do get invited, if I'll be able to make it, and I hope I can. It would be a great experience.
That was Brandon thinks about it. What Vadim Kahuta thinks, we know.
Мама, ведь душа твоя пылает.
You can, reach out to me on social media. I try to keep up and answer anything anybody asks me. So if you watch this and you found any interest in it, I really do appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Brandon, for this interview. And if you like this video, let me know. It's very simple. Just like the video, subscribe to the channel and click on the bell.